the show. Today, we have a very special guest with us. We have Sudhanshu Mani, the former general manager at ICF, and someone who played a significant role in the making of Vande Bharat. Hi, Sudhanshu. Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
So, uh, we all know how big Vande Bharat is for all of us and how it impacts our lives. Before starting talking about Vande Bharat, I wanted to talk about a little bit about your early life and your early career and what actually inspired you to join railways and maybe your early difficulties you faced or challenges you might have faced. So yeah.
So I come from a railway family. My father was also in railways, so I spent my childhood and later I was in a boarding. So childhood wherever my father was posted, Lucknow being one of the places, and later I went to a boarding in Colvin Talukdas College, Lucknow. Did my intermediate from there. I was selected for IIT Kanpur, but did not get a good branch. So then I joined what was University of Roorkee those days. Now it's IIT Roorkee. And later I got selected for what was SCRA, a railway 4-year training course, and then you get absorbed in railways. So a short job kind of thing. Some 4 5 years back, maybe a little more. The that scheme has been now closed.
Okay.
So that was my childhood and education. Those days there were not many options, career options. So
Yeah.
bread and butter became an issue. And although I had an angst, a dream that India should also have a
Hmm.
aesthetically superior, technologically advanced train, especially aesthetically superior, looking at Japanese and German trains and magazines.
Yeah.
But I will not call my joining railways as any inspiration. It
Hmm.
was just that I got selected, so it looked like a good option. But all through my career, this angst and I would say also a dream remained.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the long and short of it.
As you talked about aesthetic trains, we all had that dream to have a train like Vande Bharat, honestly, because every time I used to go to my hometown, Jhansi, so we always used to have, there were some good trains for sure, but the thing which always bugged me was that the engine is always that ordinary classic engine. So that was something which always made me feel like, okay, we might have not developed that much over the years. But when Vande Bharat was launched, that was kind of a statement that, okay, India is developing and we had a train set which actually is a complete train set and like the engine doesn't get attached and all that, and it was really aesthetic. I still remember the first time I had a journey in Vande Bharat. Everyone was clicking selfies. Everyone was so amazed with the aesthetics. So we all saw it becoming reality, but you are the one who made that happen. Like you are the one who saw it as a dream and actually made it happen with the team. Of course, amazing team you must have. Can you talk a little bit more about your uh, inspiration or your idea becoming a reality? So yeah.
So that was very simple. So, as I said, there was this angst. It's such a large network with such a large group of engineers, and yet we did not have a modern train. It was partly because of departmental wrangling. It's neither a locomotive nor a train, so two departments used to fight with each other as to whose baby it's going to be, and that discussion went on for 25, 30 years. Then there was always an import lobby. which thought that it can't be done in India, so it's better. Why reinvent the wheel?
Yeah.
Just import it and all. So all that rigmarole was going on since 90s till 2016. So when I got a chance to be made the general manager of Integral Coach Factory, I had this dream. But more than that, I was fortunate to have a very good team.
For sure.
Not everyone, but people who were doing, new designs, but more of the same, learning from the transfer of technology. But they had that chutzpah to do try something out of the box, something new. So to this kind of people chose themselves. You didn't have to go out to choose them because they were the ones with passion and commitment and a dream. And once the team chose itself, it was only a matter of channelizing their energy towards the goal, which was to build a 180 kilometers per hour train without locomotives, with all equipment mounted under the board and everything above the board for passenger amenities, except the two cabs at the end. All coaches of same profile, so it could be not only the cab, both sides could be aerodynamically profiled, but the entire train would be aerodynamically profiled with sealed gangways with flaring so that there are no air pockets formed between the coaches and you could go from one coach to the other without, unlike the rickety vestibule that we have today. So,
Yeah.
without feeling that you're crossing two coaches, one coach to the other, through a sealed gangway. So, this was broadly the consensus was to develop this train, and rest was the team had to get down to work, get the sanction first from the board because it was a new type of train,
Yeah.
and then get down to work to realize the dream.
So you said that team found itself.
Yeah.
But for sure you might have struggled a little bit to find the right people, or might have struggled to remove the wrong ones. How was it, and how was the journey of making the team as well? Like,
That was rather simple. You talk to people, not go by their designation or place in the hierarchy, just talk
mhm,
to people down the line. And people who could not even define their job properly, they only go by what's written on the paper, the
yeah,
responsibility, which is nothing. In my view, that is 10% of the job. Rest is for you to do something to which you can look back when you leave that post and say confidently that this was something that would not have been done had I not been there. I mean, people complete their tenures, look back and say I was very busy,
yeah,
but there a whole lot of people are busy doing the same thing. So you are just a cog and you think you are doing something great. Actually, you are just replicating what everyone else is doing without any great addition to the value. So talking to people that down the line, it was very obvious who are the people who have this passion, the commitment, the chutzpah, and that way, those were the people then one talked to, and the team was built. Removing people who did not have that dream or commitment was not difficult. They would simply not be a part of the team.
yeah.
But getting all these smart,
Once,
dreamy people together was a bit of a challenge. But as I said, the team chose itself, and we were able to
for
come
sure.
together and work towards a common goal.
Yeah. What Vande Bharat has done is truly a engineering marvel, something which everyone think should be there. Like, so when we think about trains, everyone talk about that, okay, it should be like this, but it was never done in railways before. One thing which I really got fascinated was the security gates. So, like in Vande Bharat, the gates get closed after a particular time, and these are. I think this is the first time Indian Railways have
Not
automatic.
exactly. Before that, a couple of trains were built called Tejas. They also had automatic doors.
Okay,
So it was not really the first time,
okay. Mm-hmm.
but integrated with the complete train system, right
Mm-hmm.
from what is called the TCMS. It was the first time.
Yeah.
And yeah, that novelty did was definitely there because
Yeah.
there may sometimes children and others also elderly people get even thrown out of the train because of that heavy door. And next to that, in some coaches, you have the wash basin, things like that.
Yeah.
So it was a safety requirement. So train would not start unless the doors closed. And when the train is on the run, except in emergency, talking back to the driver, the doors would not open.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, that was a safety feature as well as added to the aesthetics. Yeah,
So, security is one of the biggest challenges in Indian Railway, I believe, because if you see in Mumbai, I was last month in Mumbai, and I had a really scary experience in Mumbai local because they don't have gates, and it's always overcrowded, and we understand that it is the heart of Mumbai and everything, but still the security is a really major issue. So if you were given a chance to actually reform it with this kind of scale, like the kind of scale local manage, do you think we can ever have a automatic gates in these kind of locals, just like
yeah,
metro? Yeah,
yeah, definitely. Uh, you'll be surprised by the number of people who travel by Delhi Metro.
exactly.
Make a guess per
I
day.
must be in millions for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So entire railway figure is about, well, give or take 1 million here and there. It's about,
Hmm.
I think, about uh, 2.3 crores. So
Hmm.
that's 23 million.
Yeah.
But the Delhi Metro itself, and that's not metro figure is not part of Indian Railways. Delhi Metro
Yeah.
itself, last when I checked, is in the region of 6 to 7 million per day, and they travel in trains where the doors are just like your Vande Bharat. They get closed. Unless they get closed, the trains won't start. So it's
Yeah.
possible. And Mumbai suburban traffic is all in the same range, perhaps less.
Yeah.
Now, what does it need? It needs upgradation of the trains to make them air conditioned and to have these doors, make them longer so that
Yeah.
there may be a little loss of maybe 5-10 seconds every station because of door closing and opening. So to carry the same number of people without people hanging from the doors, perhaps you'll need longer trains. You can go to longer trains. Up
Yeah.
to, I believe, 15 coaches is easily possible. That's one. Now, all that would need money. And
Exactly.
suburban is a losing traffic. Railways lose money in that. Uh, some revision of the fares in line with metros should be done. After all, for metros people pay. Why would they not pay for suburban? There has been
Exactly.
it's been a bad precedent that we will charge very little. Suburban fares are much less than metro.
Exactly.
That's one. But you can't really get all
Correct.
the money through even the revenue through the
Hmm.
passenger tariff. So it's time that the state government and the city have a big stake in it. So
Yeah.
railways, federal government, state government, and city government must come together to finance the exercise and even be a partner, just like a metro system, which is by the state government and the central government together, so that the burden doesn't go entirely to Indian Railways. And this is doable, should be done. The way people travel, as you were mentioning, is not good for the dignity and comfort of people. And for India to become developed, you can't have that. But the attitude must change. You see, recently Fevicol had an ad
Hmm.
showing people clinging to the door.
Yeah.
Clinging to the door means comes in Fevicol, and they made an ad out of it. Perhaps a little bit, maybe in bad taste, but it reflects the reality.
True.
So railways acted churlishly and they got the poster down
Yeah.
to court or something, whatever. So that shows the attitude. Face the reality. This is the reality. Try to rectify it. And as I said, it's possible. Nothing is really impossible that extent, provided you make up your mind. So it's
Exactly.
possible, with one caveat that yes, fares have to go up to some extent. They would still not make up for the investment, but they must go up to some extent. After all, these 50, 60 people, except women who travel free, I guess,
Yeah, yeah.
people are paying that metro fares in Delhi, and they will pay in Mumbai. Mumbai metro is also expanding. So that's my take on that.
Amazing. I do get it. Now, so I was listening to your earlier podcasts and your blogs as well. So you have said it earlier that even though Vande Bharat is one of its kind and achievement of Indian Railways, you still think that it was not done the way it was planned. Maybe
Yeah,
you expected much more. Uh, what do you think? Like, if today you could do anything you want without any restriction, what would be the first three or five things you would like to implement in Vande Bharat?
one thing was very clear. First of all, we made a good train. The team did well. We are
Amazing.
proud of that. But we should not be delusional. We
Yeah,
should not call it world class, first of all, because it is not world class. It is near world class.
true.
Calling it world class is like, and comparing it with bullet train. It's like ISRO getting up and saying that today, okay, we are now equivalent to NASA.
True.
So that will be a travesty. We should be on the ground. Then only we can improve. If we think we have done everything, then we won't.
Yeah,
The Japan built a 210 kilometer per hour train in 1964. Here we are in 2018, a 180 kilometer per hour train, and we are trying to compare with bullet train.
true.
Idea should be to reach the level of bullet train, not try to sound as if your existing train itself has become like a bullet train. So that's the first thing. Be on the ground and look for improvement all the time. Since 2018, no improvement has taken place technologically. So that's the saddest part.
Yeah,
Whereas everywhere, people who had nothing to do with the train would you'll find them shouting that it's a great train and the bullet train and this and that. Coming to brass tacks, one was we knew that after 50, 60 trains, after you have replaced Shatabdis
yeah,
or put on the same route at Shatabdi, because the fare is higher, it's an expensive train, it will be difficult to get clientele. Because first of all, you are not able to run to capacity, the potential of 160, you are running at 130, 110. So time is saved because acceleration and deceleration are faster, but not to the extent as the promise that was held.
yeah,
Still, people, you have good clientele in Kerala, between Delhi, Varanasi, I believe Delhi, Jaipur, Ahmedabad, Mumbai. There are many trains with very good clientele, almost 100%. In Kerala, it's more than 100%. But there are some trains, for example, Bhopal, Indore, Bhopal, Jabalpur, Sikandrabad, Nagpur, who have very poor patronage. So I knew after 50, 60 trains, it'll be difficult to find clientele in wherever we put them. So the solution would have been to have a sleeper train, to run them truly overnight, say between Mumbai and Delhi. Today it takes what 16, 17 hours or so. Make it 12 to 13 hours to make it truly overnight. Start at around 7:30, reach there next day by 8:15, 8:30, something like that.
yeah,
Then many people will switch from air travel to train because they can have the day to themselves and then they can take rest in the train. And
yeah,
so the sleeper train should have come 5 years back. In 2018, we started work. It should have been there by 2019, and it has still not come up. There's only one prototype ready for. It's been inaugurated twice, once in March 24, then in September 25. Half prepared trains, whatever, but it's still not on the line. We hope it should be on the line very soon. I believe CRS approvals are in the pipeline right now. So one thing that I would do immediately is to flood the system with sleeper rakes. Number two would be to expedite the 160 kilometer per hour upgradation on trunk routes, especially Mumbai, Delhi, Mumbai, Delhi, Howrah, which is going on for years with no end in sight. so that the
Yeah.
trains could run at 160. And today, when they run at slower speed, everything is affected. When trains run at 160, you can increase the section capacity. Third thing would have been uh, the world over, the trend is to go for aluminum trains because they are lighter, so more energy efficient, even aesthetically superior and durable.
Yeah.
We tried it that time. Somehow we could not do it because of some bureaucracy. This government also tried, floated a tender for 100 trains, which was a very good tender. But when it came to ordering, they balked at the brink and they could not order it. It's going to be a little bit more expensive than stainless steel trains. You should be prepared to pay for it because that's the future. So unfortunately, that has put us 10 years back, and we have no roadmap for an aluminum train.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are two, three things. And fourth, in these 6, 7 years, we should have gone for some technological improvements in the train.
Yeah.
Yeah. And improvement in quality of interiors and exteriors.
Exactly.
That unfortunately does not seem to be happening. If it's happening, it's not that noticeable. So, or I don't have full information, but based on feedback of passenger and others, these are the four things that I would have liked to do.
Yeah. I think what you exactly said is that even I realized that a lot of people who choose Vande Bharat over other trains, right now it's more about the experience and the aesthetic, um, experience of it. But uh, the time is not that, drastically changing.
Yeah.
Like, so it's almost similar. It's just that we all go in Vande Bharat for the experience, but with the time that will decrease. So
Uh,
I think speed gonna play a really important role. And what I was thinking about it is that the train is not the problem; it's the track, which we all know. A lot of the tracks which we have are really, really old, and even if we build something which can go up to 200, I think if our tracks are ready for that, at least for longer routes, what do you think can be a solution for it? I know the infrastructure cost going to be high. Right now, what we see with the bullet train, it's that they are building it from scratch. They are building new tracks for it, but that is taking really long time. We Indians don't really have that much time to have a better infrastructure. So, if you could do something about it, what would be your,
no,
advice?
there are two things: bullet trains or high-speed trains, and semi-high-speed trains on existing tracks are two different
Yeah, yeah,
ball games. So bullet trains are required; they will compete directly with air.
yeah.
Directly in Mumbai, Ahmedabad, once it's ready, you will find that the air traffic between the two cities will vanish.
True.
Uh, Even you can have a high-speed sleeper train tomorrow, and that will totally also cut down air travel. Even semi-high-speed trains can compete
True.
because there is a lot of time, going to the airport, then at the airport, getting down, taking your luggage, and so on. So, like we had made the train for Delhi Bhopal so that it could run at 160. There is a stretch of track which permits 160. The idea was that it should not take more than 5.5 hours, and that's about the time one almost takes if he goes by air to Bhopal, including the travel to airport, from airport, at airport. So these are two different branches. High-speed trains are needed. We should not. We had been debating. This government finally decided to have one, but credit to them. But execution is excruciatingly slow. I hope it picks up right now. This what should have been ready in 2022 is perhaps going to 2030.
Exactly.
I believe one or two more sections should be immediately identified instead of talking all this hype. Delhi to Varanasi in 3 hours and Chennai to Mysuru. All that hype goes on in newspaper and perhaps egged on by railways. I don't know. We should choose two sections. And to my mind, for example, Chennai, Bangalore,
Hmm.
smaller section, and let's say Delhi, Amritsar, or Delhi, Lucknow, Delhi, Jaipur, one of
Delhi
these,
Jaipur.
and start instead of talking, doing. uh, surveys on longer sections and so on. And number two, existing track upgradation. We should look at 160 now. Up to 200 is possible. Trains would be ready, no problem. Vande Bharat can be upgraded. Up to 200, we can go on existing tracks, not really beyond that.
Exactly.
Right? Because there are many issues which come up because of permanent speed restrictions, then bridges and curvatures and so on.
Yeah.
But 200 is far away. It's possible, but right now 160 should be the aim. And last thing, you said it will cost. Yes, of course it will cost. But the fortunate thing is that central government is pumping a lot of money in railways,
Yeah.
like never before. Unprecedented. The capex has gone up 5, 6 times. It's at the level of 2.65 lakh crores today. No, money is not a problem. Execution is correct. Deployment of funds for the fruitful projects. That's the problem, and I hope that improves for really to get to extract full value from all the funds that are flowing into railways instead of building glitzy stations and so on. We do not add value
Yeah.
except for optics.
Yeah. On that note, we have seen a lot of privatization in Indian Railways, like in a lot of different sectors. What is your view on that? Do you think it's gonna help to fast this process, or it's gonna slow down?
It's all a question of perception. When you say we have seen so much privatization, if I ask you to name something, you won't be able to do it.
I think,
First thing, yeah,
yeah,
please tell me what has been privatized.
I would say a lot of catering and a lot of
Catering was always in private hands. IRCTC gives it to contractors. It is nothing new. It's always age old. When IRCTC was not there, catering was held ordered by railways and contractors used to handle it. So there's nothing new there.
okay. So, but do you feel the need of
Yeah. So first thing
privatizing?
is to correct the perception. People keep asking, opposition parties keep saying privatize हो रहा है, so on. भाई क्या privatize हो रहा है? जो होना चाहिए नहीं हो रहा.
Uh,
There should be an there should be a very good mix of privatization and
yeah,
public. High-end trains, even freight trains, to boost the modal share of railways. Uh, PPP in station building so that maintenance is taken care of. Right now, we are building in EPC and we have no idea how they are going to be maintained because revenue budgets are already strained. We have capex, but revenue budgets are strained. Operating ratios are hovering around 99, that too through manipulation. So there, and similarly, so I said high-end trains and also manufacturing.
yeah,
The world over, manufacturing is with government only in India. Even in China, CRRC, their main company, is a PSU but works like a private sector. So there's a lot of scope of fruitful privatization. It's not a bad word. It should be done. At the same time, there are certain things like catering to how common man travels. Very
yeah,
important in our country for the time being till we become developed. So
yeah,
no private operator is going to cater to poor travelers. As it is, we don't cater to them well. We don't provide them dignity. We don't provide them comfort. They travel, if I may permit me to say, almost like cattle. That's an area public has to be remain with public, and they must look after them and try to provide them a more comfortable journey. And similarly, there are like this government has done good job in penetration of railways in Northeast. Now, those are not very remunerative lines, but strategically, it's going to be very important. Like Jammu Kashmir line, it's not going to be remunerative, but for unification of the country, from point of view of strategy, sentimental attachment to the valley and unification of the country, true integration of the country, it was very much necessary. So all this would always be done by a public enterprise. Private enterprise is not going to spend money on that. So good mix of both is what is important.
completely agree. Yeah. Um, on that note, now that you have left or retired from Indian Railways, how is the journey right now, and like how is the whole experience of post-retirement experience? And
Yeah, so
yeah,
no, it's been wonderful because I retired on 31st December
hmm,
2018 on 1st. of January, I was in my hometown, Lucknow, where I have a flat. And since then, I've been busy in many things. See, I organize conclaves of free thought with a friend of mine. I write books,
Yeah.
so I've written three after retirement. Five I had written coffee table books during service. It was easier because these were coffee tables, so I've written these books. Uh, in fact, the one was which I is called My Train 18 Story. It's about the train itself. This was written primarily not only to narrate the story,
Hmm.
but I, as the leader, got all the limelight. But there was
Yeah.
a wonderful team.
Exactly.
It was not a one-man show who remained unknown and unsung. So I tried to call out the contribution of each and every member of the team, and I hope I've been able to do a good job. It's available on Amazon,
Hmm.
and
Right.
I have no commercial interest in it. But if some of your viewers buy it, it will be they'll find it a good narrative.
It would
Then
be. Hmm.
one of my dreams, when I say dreams should never die, they should be kept alive. Don't live in them. So one of my dreams was to work on Shakespeare and Ghalib, their poetry, and
Amazing.
and collate their work, and find similarities, dissimilarities. So picked up a couplet, then tried to find an equivalent in Shakespeare. So I wrote this book. It's
That's
called
amazing.
Ghalib and Shakespeare, a collection by their self-styled nephew. Then another humorous take is also ready for publication on both with Ghalib and Shakespeare talking to each other in their terrestrial home.
That's
Another book I'll have, and blog regularly, and I write in newspapers. One, at least one, in some months, two articles a month.
yeah.
Then I have produced a play that is Ghalib with music and Kathak, which one of my friends wrote the script, and I have acted as the roughly you can call the sutradhar there. And there are many other things which keep me busy. I run a cultural center here in my parents' place, who are no more, but the place is there to organize, monthly bathag or goshtis to have poetry and similar things. So there are a lot of things to do, but leisurely. There's no stress and tension like the
Yeah.
service life. Everything is leisurely, and I get a lot of invitations to go and talk to young people. Not only young, all kinds
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
people.
I think I saw.
So this keeps me busy.
Yeah, yeah. I think I saw you recently. I was not there, but I saw a post where you and ISRO head were there, and a lot of amazing people were there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I try to follow your work. It's amazing. Uh,
Yeah,
I
ISRO, the moon man, Anadurai,
yeah,
and Mothuvel, the new Chandrayaan 3 man. I met them in one of these
I
functions.
have
These are
backed them.
great people and very unassuming, modest people.
Hmm.
They are the real heroes. And I'm fortunate to meet them during in one of these sessions where I'm also invited to speak.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great, great work. Thank you for joining us, Sudhanshu sir.
my
It's a
pleasure.
great pleasure to have you here. Thanks.
My pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you.